Alright. Yeah, I left them parts in the bucket for about 2 days and took them out and cleaned, just blew them off with air, and that's what it does. It gets all the grease off and paint like this. This had all that blue paint on there. There's still a little on there, but got most of it off. Cleaned all the grease out of in here. You know, it's funny. It takes paint off, but there's a decal. And the decal, you can still read it and stuff. I mean, that's the way it was when it went in there, but it didn't really damage the decal at all. Even here on the side here where it says Eclipse. That's interesting. And I cleaned this coil up by hand. I cleaned up nice. I scraped most of the grease off and then just cleaned it up a little bit with alcohol and, you know, made sure I didn't get anything too wet. The base came out nice. Everything, even the crank. I can't get over how nice that crank is. And it's cleaned up nice. Everything cleaned up nice. And all I do is leave it in there. You know, a lot of people say, you know, you need a parts cleaner and stuff like that. I had a parts cleaner, and it was just so big. It was like 2.5 foot by 4 foot, and it took up a lot of space, and the chemicals you put in it were expensive and stuff like that. So I brought it up to an engine shell, and I tried to sell it, and I couldn't even sell it. I wound up leaving it up there in one of their dumpsters. You know, that was a couple years ago. That was nice, but I'd much rather do it this way. It does all the work for you. And I cleaned up all the little parts, blew them down, and wire wheeled some that I had to. So that's all ready to go. And I took the carburetor and took it apart here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this little bucket here, and I'm going to put the rust remover in there, because I think the rust remover sometimes cleans this pot metal and brass. I got some brass parts in there. Even though these, you know, they don't rust and everything, I think it cleans them. So we're gonna leave it in, put it in there, and leave it in overnight and see if it does anything. There's really no parts in. There's no jets to even talk about. You know, you got one little jet and everything. And, you know, you don't really have much to clean on this, but we'll do it anyway. You know what? I think since I got the rust remover in there, I'll throw the old governor in there, governor, and get all this little surface rust off of there, plus this piece of brass on there. So, all right, I'm gonna take this operation outside and start wire wheeling some of it, because whatever paint is on here is probably lead. Plus, I don't want to get all the dirt and dust inside the shop. So we'll take it outside and wire wheel most of it, and then we'll be good. It'll be all ready to put back together. Well, after we paint it, but it'll be all ready for paint. Alright, maybe we'll see you outside, okay? Alright, just finished up the block, and that came out nice and clean. Yeah, it worked well. On some of the metal we use these strip pin pads. Little baby in that one there. And that worked good. And then the wire wheels, you know, and made fast work of it. So let's go inside and see what we did. Alright, yeah, the shroud came out nice. I got a tiny little dent here. I don't know if you can see that, a little tiny dent there. And then I got this dent up here. I think I'm going to straighten that without using any body filler. You know, just straighten it and make it flat. This came out good. We call them acorns, but somebody criticized me. They're acorns. That's the newer edition. And this here came out nice. This, and this here. I got to clean. Some of it I got to get nooks and the crannies with Dremel wheel, but for the most part, everything cleaned up nice. All ready to paint. Even this, I get that a little bit with a Dremel. I want to take these rings off and clean the grooves out, even though they look pretty good, and I'd get away with just putting it back in. I'm gonna take the rings off and clean them up. Flywheel came up nice, and gas tank came out nice, and just as I suspected, I did find one pinhole, and it's like right in the middle here. I'll hold you up to the light. You guys, look in this little hole here, you see it better. Where you at? Let me see. There you go. There you go. You see it there? Looks big. Looks big because you're up and close, but it's actually a pinhole. Matter of fact. Oh yeah. I can just barely see it, and this is why we call them pinholes. They're actually just the size of a pin. So, I think what I'm going to do is I might fill it with the solder, and then give the whole thing a coat of fuel resistant epoxy, and then I'll probably sand that, paint it, and then give it another coat of epoxy to keep the fuel from peeling the paint on it. So I think that'll be good enough for that. So alright, yeah, the head came up nice too, but you don't get that shine on the cast iron like you do with the sheet metal. So alright, let me do a little more cleaning up, and then maybe we'll paint some of this stuff up. Alright, yeah, I soldered that pinhole, and I checked it before I put this epoxy on there. I just put a nice thick coat of fuel resistant epoxy on there, so I think it'll be okay. Alright, let's it says it sets up in 25 minutes, so let's leave it alone, and we'll come back in maybe an hour or two. Alright. Alright, yeah, it's been about 24 hours now, and this is all set up, and did a nice job. All them black marks here, that was the rust, and that was treated, so that was all neutralized, and you know, that's in case there was any pinholes that I didn't see or something. But yeah, where I soldered here and put the epoxy, we shouldn't have any problem with that. So what I'll do is I'll sand this all down, just a light scuff so it'll take paint, and then we'll paint the whole thing, and then cover the whole thing in epoxy. That way, if it gets fuel on it, it won't affect the paint. Alright, yeah, we're happy with that. Alright, here's our little bucket with the carburetor in it. I haven't looked at it yet, so let me throw you on a tripod and we'll look at it together. Alright, let me grab a seat here. Get a little towel. Roll my sleeves up so I don't stick it in that crap. Still there? Okay, like I say, this is the rust remover. I know this isn't steel, but I just want to see how well it cleaned up. And it did shine up a little bit. But if you remember the back here, this is steel. Remember that? Look how nice that came out. And this was rusted too. Remember this? This was steel. This was in here for about 24 hours. I threw my gas cap in there too. That actually came out pretty nice. It was steel. Remember this? This here was rusted up pretty good. Or should I say pretty bad. And that came out real nice too. Yeah, that's what this stuff is meant for, you know, little surface rust jobs like that. I thought it would clean the brass up a little better, but it didn't. But that's crazy. Yeah, look at that. That cleaned up better than new. What else we got in here? These are just parts of the carburetor. See, it did clean the brass up a little bit. Alright. The rest of these are just small parts and stuff. Oh well. Yeah, it didn't, I thought it was going to clean the brass up real good, but apparently not, so, oh well. It's not what it's meant for. Alright, I'll probably hit that with a Dremel and clean that up, make that shine like a new penny. Alright. Alright. Yeah, here's a little tip for you guys. You see that carburetor? It looks nice, it's clean, and if you like that color, you know, that gunmetal gray, that looks good, but if you want to make your engine stand out, just get yourself a Dremel with a little wire wheel tip on it, and you can make this thing shine like a new penny. Yeah, in less than 5 minutes you can have this whole thing shine. And then you get your brass stuff, and just a quick twist with the steel wool, and your brass will come up shiny. I already did that. You're not going to see that, it's going to be in the gas tank, but we cleaned it anyway. You know, and your needles, your jets and stuff. I think I need a piece of steel wool, huh? Yeah, that makes a big difference, you know? People notice that kind of stuff. Alright, I'm gonna, you see that hardly took any time at all. Look at it shining. See that light shining on here? Look at that, that's a third of the carburetor right there, already done. Right, let me clean that up, we'll see what it looks like. Alright, yeah, it didn't take long, maybe a couple minutes. I put it all back together. Put the jet back in there and even adjusted it. Yeah, for you guys that like the shiny stuff, you know, I mean, that came out pretty nice. But if you like the gunmetal look, that's fine too. But I like it, especially on a freshly painted engine. Alright, I wasn't going to make a gasket. Here's the old gasket for it. I wasn't going to make it, but I got some scrap pieces laying around here, so I'm gonna make one. I don't know what this hole is, but I don't need it. I need these two. This is where the screws go. And this is where the fuel line goes in. Give me some fine Italian surgical scissors here. I always keep them around the shop. You never know when you're going to need them. It's just the only reason I'm doing it because it's an easy gasket. Let's see here. Looks pretty close. Looks pretty close too. Alright, I'm going over to Vice to pop this hole. Got this dry. Got to do it on a vise and a piece of hardwood. I'll go away. I'll be right back. Alright. We're back. Yeah, pretty close. I wouldn't say perfect, but I'd say close enough for this, right? Let's just throw it on there, throw some screws in there, see the hole lines up. I know I'm putting them in backwards. I'm putting them upside down. Alright, good enough. Good enough, huh? Alright. Don't lose that. Alright. Yeah, Road King just learned something. You see this carburetor's the one I just cleaned up. And while I was cleaning it, I was looking at it. And I'm looking at this this suction tube here, you know, and a check valve. And I'm thinking, geez, that's pretty thin. That's pretty small. You know, and I don't remember it being that small, but you know, so I got another carburetor, and I pulled it out, and there is a difference. Look at I don't know how to put these side by side here so you can see it, but look at the difference in size of that tube compared to the other one. It's almost twice as big. So I was correct in knowing that I didn't remember them being this small. But anyway, I was answering comments and looking at comments on my other video, you know, the first video of this, and I got a comment from a guy. His name was Dick Sargent. I know that's probably not his real name, but anyway, he says you might have trouble with that suction tube. He said when he was 10 years old, his job in his father's small engine shop, there was a service bulletin from Briggs and Stratton to take this small tube out and drill out the hole and replace it with a bigger tube and check valve. You know, when I seen the difference in these tubes, I was just thinking, well, this was a 5S and the 6S was a bigger bore and everything. They use the same carburetor, and I was just thinking, you know, that's all it was. You know, I had no idea about service bulletin, and he had no idea I was pondering what's going on with this small tube. So it's funny he brought that up. He even told me, he says it takes a number 7 drill. You know, so I measured everything, and sure enough, it was pretty close. But he told me, he says, double check, make sure that he could be wrong with that number 7. He goes, it was 60 years ago. So he was saying how it made him a little nervous doing it because, you know, he's only 10 years old and he's drilling a carburetor and he's always worrying about ruining it. So there you go. So that's what we're going to do. It just so happens, I told him, I says, I'm going to use whatever brass tubing I have in stock here, and it just so happens to be the same thickness as whatever that is. You know, this probably isn't a modification here. This is probably just you know, Briggs and Stratton made the newer ones with the bigger thing, the bigger tube. But I thought that was interesting. You know, when I come across interesting stuff like that and something that might help somebody else, I'll throw it in there, even if it does take a couple minutes. But anyway, I want to thank Dick for putting that comment there. You know, I read all the comments, good or bad. I read them all, and this one here is going to be real helpful. I'm wondering now if that thin tube might have had something to do with that engine carboning up so bad. So we'll never know. All right, let's get back to doing some work. All right. Yeah, yesterday I threw the head in this rust remover stuff, and it's been about 24 hours, so let me throw you on a tripod and we'll open it up and see what it looks like together. Alright, yeah, not that I needed to do it, but since I had this stuff out, I figured, what the heck. I guess if you run it under water, it'll look a little better, but it looks like it did something. I don't know. I'm going to go run it under water and then I'll bring it back. It really darkened this, though. Yeah, I guess it did do a little something, but I don't know. If you see this, it's still like surface rust and stuff. I don't think there's any miracle cure for rust, you know. You just got to do the best you can to get rid of it. You see it's still in there. I'll treat it with acid before I paint it. See if that helps any of it. That'll neutralize it anyway and keep from going any further. Not that it's, you know, it's cast iron and it's not like it's rotting away. Oh well. I just thought, what the heck, right? We had the stuff already out. All right. Yeah, I wasn't gonna take the rings off because they were moving pretty good and they looked pretty good and everything. And then I said, oh, what the heck? And good thing I did, because look at that. You see that big chunk of? Let me see if I got a little pick right here. A big chunk of carbon right there. Okay. Let me clean that out. Let me clean that out and hit that with a little wire wheel while we got it out. Alright. Yeah, that's all that came out of there is these little bits, and they probably wouldn't have done anything, but we have it out, right? Might as well do it. And it only takes a couple minutes. What we got over here? How's that? Now let me clean them up and then we'll turn you back on and see how it looks. Alright, yeah, that piston cleaned up pretty well. And even the rings, cleaned the rings up with some Scotch-Brite. There is a right and a wrong way to put these in. I don't know if I can focus in on this for you here. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, there it goes. See, there's like a little bevel on the top there. That's your top ring, and I think the bevel goes on top. And then here's your second ring. Your second ring's a little different. See, I got like little feet there. See a little notch all the way around, and then you got a little foot on each end. That goes towards the bottom. That's your second ring. And then the oil ring. Oil ring, you can't mess that up. So. Alright, I'm going to try and put these back on. I'm going to turn the cameras off because you make me nervous when you watch me. So, let me put them back on. Hope we don't break them. Okay. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. I'm only kidding. It's right here. Oh, Road King, you kill me. Yeah. They went on pretty good. Went on real nice. Alright, I don't know where I'm going from here, but we're going somewhere. Alright, yeah, we just got done finishing cleaning up the block here and everything. You know, you got to get inside all these fins and everything with a wire wheel and stuff. I just put it on, you know, like a steel bottle brush. I'll put it on a drill here and then stick it in between there, and it cleans it out pretty good. Sorry about that. So this is, you know, a lot of nooks and crannies, and then inside these nooks and stuff, you got to get it with the little baby Dremel, and I pretty much got it all, so I'm happy with that. And then this tank here, see the bottom is epoxied. Well, I just got done sanding it, so we'll take some paint. Same with this. This had all the nooks and crannies and stuff, and this too. So everything is ready for paint. I think before I paint the block, I think I might hone it out and do the valves. We'll see. I don't know. So, you know what? Today wasn't beautiful to paint. It was, take a walk outside here. It was 80 degrees. It's March 20th. 82 degrees, I think. Oh, here goes the kitty cat, stray cat. But it was too windy. I don't know if you see the pineapple tree. It's blowing in the wind a little bit. And the mighty evergreens there, the Douglas firs, they're blowing. Actually, now it's pretty calm. But there you go. You see it picks up, it keeps kicking up. Yeah, right now we're getting a bad wind. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what it's like tomorrow. Maybe we'll paint everything. But for now, yeah, we didn't get much done, but we had fun, right? That's what matters. So what do you guys say? It's probably going to be a short one, so enough of this, right?